Hi dear students, how are you today? I hope you are fine. Today we are going to take a new lesson in the geometry, which is geometric transformation and axis of symmetry. Let's start with the axis of symmetry. What is meant by axis of symmetry? Axis of symmetry is a line that I can draw it or do it in any figure, and this line will divide the figure into two symmetric identical parts. So what does it mean? This means that by drawing any line in the shape, it will not be asymmetric. We have a very important condition, which is that the symmetry, the axis of symmetry, must divide the shape into two equal parts. As you see in the figure, we have on the right side a triangle, and there is a line which is drawn at the end of the figure. So this is not an axis of symmetry because it's not dividing the shape into two parts. But we have on the left side a rectangle. At the center of the rectangle, I'm drawing a line of symmetry. This is called a line of symmetry. Why? Because it's dividing the shape into two equal parts. Okay, we have another two examples on the left side and on the right side. Here I'm dividing the rectangle into two equal parts by the line of symmetry. So if the left side is equal to the right side, this will be a line of symmetry. Okay, next slide. Now I will begin to show you a different geometrical figures and their lines of symmetry. Each figure has a constant number of line of symmetry, and you have to study them well as you are studying your names. Each figure has a constant line of symmetry. Let's start by the triangle, and we will take a different types of triangles because each type of triangle has a number of line of symmetry different from the other type. What about the equilateral triangle? Equilateral triangle, as we know, it's the triangle that has all sides are equal and all angles are equal. This type of triangle has three lines of symmetry. Three lines of symmetry. Okay. Next type of triangle is the isosceles triangle. And we know that the isosceles triangle, it's a triangle that has two sides are equal and two angles are equal. And this type of triangle has only one line of symmetry. So if I try to draw another line of symmetry in this shape, I will not divide it into two equal parts, so it will only has one axis of symmetry. Okay, what about the scalene triangle? The scalene triangle, as we know before, it's the triangle that all sides are different in lengths and all angles are different in measures. So this type of triangle has no lines of symmetry. So equilateral triangle has three lines of symmetry, isosceles triangle has only one line of symmetry, and the scalene triangle has no lines of symmetry. Let's move to the next shape, which is square and rectangle. The square has four lines of symmetry. The square has four lines of symmetry. You have to study them well. Okay, what about the rectangle? Rectangle has two lines of symmetry. Next shape we have is the rhombus. The rhombus is like rectangle. It has only two lines of symmetry. Let's move to the next slide and the next figures. Next shape or next figure is trapezoid or trapezium, and we have two types of trapezoid. The normal trapezium has no lines of symmetry. يعني if I ask you to find the number of line of symmetry of a trapezoid, you will write it has no line of symmetry. But if I ask you to find the line of symmetry of isosceles trapezoid, it will be one line of symmetry. So isosceles trapezoid has only one line of symmetry. Parallelogram. What about the parallelogram? Parallelogram has no lines of symmetry. Has no line of symmetry. I cannot draw a line and consider it a line of symmetry because it will not divide the shape into two equal parts or two identical shapes. The circle, here we have a circle which has infinite number of symmetry. If I draw any line moving among the center of the circle, it will consider to be a line of symmetry, so it has infinite number of lines of symmetry. The last two figures is pentagon and hexagon, and their numbers of symmetry is related to their number of sides. The pentagon has 5 sides and its lines of symmetry are 5 lines of symmetry. Also, the hexagon has 6 sides and it also has 6 lines of symmetry. That's all for the shapes. Next slide. Here we have an example or an exercise for the lines of symmetry. Here you have to complete the numbers of lines of symmetry of different shapes. Number 8, the number of symmetry axes of the square. It will be 2. The rectangle has how many axes of symmetry? Why the equilateral triangle has what? As we know before, the rectangle has 2 axes of symmetry. Why the equilateral triangle has 3 lines of symmetry? Number C, the isosceles trapezium has 1 axis of symmetry. And the symmetry, the last one, the symmetry axis divides the figure into how many halves? I told you before, the axis of symmetry is dividing any figure into 2 equal halves. That's all for this lesson, and now we are talking about the types of transformation. The rest of this lesson is the transformation. What we mean by transformation? It means that I have a shape or a figure and I'm moving the shape by one of these 3 ways. So we have 3 types of transformation. Let's take them. Number 1 is translation or slide. What does it mean? This means that I have a shape and every point in this shape is moving and I move it in a distance with a same giving direction. I have the object here and the image in front of it, and we are moving, the shape here is moving in the same direction and in the same distances. Okay, I can call it as translation or slide. Second type of transformation is reflection. Reflection means what? This called another name, which is mirror image. As we see ourselves in the mirror, one of the shapes are standing like the object and the other image is on the opposite side of the shape. So this is like a mirror reflection or a mirror transformation. The last one, the last type of transformation is rotation. What does it mean? It means that I have the figure and I rotate it in another direction. Even it is to the right or to the left, but it's a rotation for the figure. Okay? We have to know that and note that translation is also called a slide image. Reflection is also called a flip image. And the rotation is called a turn image.